Hello, I'm Zack Middleby, and I am talking about the topic of illegal immigration in the United States, and I'm taking the no side on this. The United States of America is symbolized as the most diverse country in the world when it comes to race and ethnicity. The U.S. flourishes with an array of cultures, languages, religions, and beliefs that make up our society. And the U.S. is founded by immigrants who were seeking to the new world to find a new beginning. These immigrants from all over the world were built the foundations of our government and constitution. When they first came here, there was no law or anything saying they couldn't come here, but now, since they established our government, they made laws preventing this from happening in the future. It is now 2013, and immigration is still occurring in massive populations. Modern day immigration is destroying America from the inside out. The laws protecting our country from illegal immigration are covered in dust. The United States has a number of approximately 12 to 15 million illegal immigrants. This astonishing number levels that reveal 78% are all from Spanish-speaking countries. I will discuss what illegal immigration is, why illegals choose to come here, the law issues, and impact on our country. Illegal immigration is the inside war that in the U.S. that we are ignoring right now, and it's becoming a really big problem. Illegal immigration has recently become one of the largest uprising issues in America, as we know today. People in the U.S. have not yet found an established way to control it. No one has come to an agreement on anything. There's Republicans, Democrats can't even come close to an agreement. So although illegal immigrants are from all over the world, Mexico represents the vast majority, about 12 million actually. Although illegal immigrants, illegal immigration can be simply defined as a non-citizen or illegal alien who has entered the U.S. without government permission or one who has stayed beyond the passive visa. And this visa is just a way to get into the country for working or so. Most visas can last a month or a few years, but once the visa deadline is reached, these people are just staying here and not renewing them, so they're considered illegals. People from all over the world come here, whether it's done illegal or legally, and that comes with time. If you want to do it legally, it takes a certain number of years. And the U.S. is the most prominent reputation as being the land of freedom, opportunity, and liberty. Illegal immigration occurs more in the U.S. than any other country in the world. Illegal immigrants come to the U.S. because they're in search of a new life, as opposed to the treacherous homeland life they had. Most live in poverty, have dealt with violence and drugs in their country. Their country's unemployment is way, way worse than ours. Drugs are out of this world down there. So, they have it rough, so that's why they want to come here. And plus, they want to renew their relationship with their families that most of them are over here and some of them are back down in Mexico. So that's the reason why they want to come here. And that's why it's obvious and understandable why immigrants have made the U.S. as a chosen ground. We are land of prosperity. Our reputation explodes with promise of a new start with a better chance in life for these people. As one immigrant comes, there's thousands more to follow. So crossing the U.S. border is illegal and considered a federal crime. We are fallible in the U.S. due to the fact that we know that they are crossing mass amounts every day, and we have little or nothing to do to prevent this from happening. We may arrest a few thousand, but 4,500 or 5,000 people will cross without even getting touched. So the issue that the laws are not being enforced to their full extent that have been created in the past and present. Our border protection is lacking in size, highly unorganized, which allow a gap for illegals to manipulate and break through. The larger fault is that once they enter the U.S., there's not much that we can do to convict them, so we just let them go. No one says anything. The most popular is the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, which specifies states that if you stay in the U.S. without proper identification or documents for over a certain allotted time, such as 180 days, and are you trying to be illegal, then they will be deported back to the country you come from. And the law states that a person who commits a crime cannot attempt to re-enter the U.S. for at least 1 year and cannot be filed, be a citizen, documentation for another legal year. The longer the time spent in the U.S. by a legal immigrant, the longer the punishment will be. So that's just like a year, that one right there, and as it gets bigger and bigger, it's more and more years. After September 11th, 2011, 2001, President Bush passed the widely known Patriot Act, which provided protection to our borders and gave government and the power to remove illegals from within the country if caught illegally in the U.S. So, as you can see, we've done none of this yet. We might deport a few thousand, maybe, out of millions. So, it has provided for us for a new Immigration Reform Act under the Obama administration. Our progress is far from being made, and I'll talk about that later. Well, the greatest fear of American people in regards to how aliens have increased the crime here. Violence, drugs, and discrimination have dramatically went up down in the South where Arizona is and everything. They have gained U.S. rights that aren't legally granted to them, and they play a part in our collapsing economy. Violence and crime have escalated due to illegal immigration in the South. Invasion of illegal immigrants has collapsed protection at our borders, destroyed communities, and angered U.S. citizens on the border. This has caused increased tension, resulting in escalating violence. In Danbury, Connecticut, nearly 20% of the city is made up of illegal immigrants. Gangs from Mexico that have entered bring a great amount of violence into our country, such as shootings and drugs. Not only does this bring crime into our country, but along with crime comes the drugs, which is a severe problem. Drugs are brought into this country from Mexico that they have communications with people already in the U.S., whether they're illegal or illegal. So that's a huge issue. That's when you have drugs, there's crimes that break out, gangs and stuff. So, and the U.S. border, U.S.-Mexico border has become the largest drug smuggling section in the world. So that needs to be fixed, I think, but I'm not getting too far. Last severe issue is from the Uyghurs. If illegal immigrants can cross into the U.S. without being touched or anything, why can't a terrorist from Iraq or anybody come to this country and do what they did in Boston, possibly, if that's where they might have crossed through? A terrorist can get a visa and work in the United States just like a legal immigrant wants to come here and work in the United States. In 2004, Border Patrol agents arrested more than 650 suspected terrorists from the countries of national security interest trying to cross on our southern border. Nearly 2/3 of the illegal immigrants take part in terrorist activity at some level. The U.S. is already in a great hole of debt nearing 17 trillion mark. The last thing we need is these people. We need the government taking our money to give to these Mexicans that are not even, they get their granted rights and they're legal, and they're getting free education, all kinds of free benefits that we have to pay for, and we're already paying for people in our country that are already on welfare and they can't afford for their own families. American people are losing jobs at a phenomenal rate due to the economic crash and will almost work anywhere in the country. There's a quote, if an American employer is offering a job to American citizens and are not willing to take it, we ought to welcome our country, the person who will fill that job. And that phrase is made by many officials in the government to cool down people, constant law breaking out our border. And I'll just finish up there. Thank you.
Quick question, so
Yeah.
what do you see as a solution?
I mean,
how would you deal with it?
I mean, I would definitely at least put some type of military force at our border. Like our borders, they have like a 12-foot wall. I mean, anyone can jump over that. I mean, if they want to climb up and jump over. They have like those, I forget what they use. Like this big crossbar iron things they just put in the middle of roads kind of thing, like so people can't drive through and people can walk right through them. That's what they have at some part of the borders. So I mean, all I can say is possibly increase.
Do you know how long that border is?
I have no clue.
It's really long.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how you put a military across the whole border.
Yeah, I mean, Obama wants to. I have it here somewhere.